I momentarily lost my focus and broke the bowl. The next moment, a tingling warmth spread from my fingertips. Silly goose, how did you get hurt again? The shock left me speechless, for I saw the man before me, his face filled with concern, sucking on the droplets of blood from my fingertips. It was my stepbrother, Sebastian. The aloof and distant young master who had always kept his distance from me. The one who had never once shown me a kind face or spoken a kind word. The one who had always ignored my advances and warned me to stop daydreaming. Bro. I was plunged into deep confusion. Was this a hallucination? But there was still the love bite I had left on his neck last night. After I lost my sight, my boyfriend would always whine every time he went on a business trip, asking me to leave a mark. This way, everyone will know I'm married. Isn't that good? Gia? I instinctively tried to push him away. But when I saw the fleeting shadow in Sebastian's eyes, I froze instinctively. His kiss was passionate and lingering, and he didn't let go until I was almost suffocating. Baby, it looks like it's going to rain. Where's the umbrella you bought last time? The big blue one. I pretended to reach for the umbrella stand, which was filled with umbrellas of every color. Except blue. He was testing me. If I hesitated for even a moment, he would see through me. My heart was pounding, and I pretended to be casual as I picked one up. Sebastian finally gave me a satisfied look. After he left, I collapsed onto the sofa, drenched in cold sweat. 3 years ago, my boyfriend and I were on our way to get married when we were involved in a car accident. I lost my vision, and out of guilt, my boyfriend changed completely. He became overly attentive toward me. I was touched but also confused. Was he pitying me? Because he started avoiding me, even when I initiated a kiss, he would awkwardly turn away. The nurses were betting on when we would break up. There are no filial sons at the bedside of the dying, let alone lovers, especially when her boyfriend is so handsome. On the day we were discharged and returned home, he helped me bathe, but when he tried to undress me, his fingers tensed up, and he couldn't undo the buttons for a long time. I forced myself to look up, feeling shy. I kissed his Adam's apple. His breathing halted. I pressed against his chest, which was hot and firm, like a volcano that had been suppressed for too long. You seem wet too, here. I tried to sound as innocent as possible. Want to wash together? His heartbeat changed instantly. In the darkness, I awkwardly kissed him, desperately wanting to prove I still had an effect on him. His breathing grew heavy, but as I moved downward, he suddenly grew stern, pushing me away with a hoarse voice. Gia, don't do this. Don't do what? You won't even kiss me. Every time I change clothes, you run out. You said you'd take care of me for the rest of your life. What kind of relationship is that? Why won't you touch me? Tears streamed down my face uncontrollably, and I trembled with hurt. Yes, who would love a blind man? Don't think I don't know. You're always talking on the phone behind my back. Who are you chatting with? You're admiring Junior, or the older woman you met at the gym? Or the nurse who asked for your number right in front of me? I'm blind, but I'm not dead. I screamed hoarsely in the darkness, the taut string inside me snapping completely. Just as self-pity and self-loathing were about to overwhelm me, he suddenly leaned down and hugged me tightly. Gia, don't give up on yourself. I'll always be here. I'll never forget the intensity of his kiss. He stepped into the bathtub, lifted me up, and said nothing, only using his body to tell me he needed me. He needed me desperately. Because I couldn't see, my hearing and touch were amplified 100-fold. I trembled with every breath he took, from the smallest kiss to the biggest. In a daze, he pressed his forehead against mine and kept apologizing. Gia, I'm sorry. Sorry for what? Actually, I had my doubts. For 3 whole years, Yinwen's mother never showed up. His excuse was, she's a bit uncomfortable with us being together. Give me some time to convince her to trust me. I searched everywhere online for information about my boyfriend and discovered that our car accident had been completely erased, Even the places where he had worked in the past were listed as closed. I was completely lost. For the past 3 years, Sebastian had been the man by my side. Then, where was my original boyfriend? Where was he? Sebastian had always been domineering. He saw my mother and me as intruders and never treated us kindly. Anyone he disliked would disappear from my life. The nanny who was kind to me was fired. The college applications I wanted to submit were changed. The male classmate who delivered love letters to me would inevitably transfer schools for various reasons. Was this car accident an act of God, or was it caused by human error? I dared not think further and just wanted to escape this prison. As I hurriedly packed my luggage, my phone rang. It was Sebastian calling on video. Gia, I've arrived in G City. Have you had lunch yet? There's chicken noodle soup in the pot that you like. Be careful when you open it, don't burn your hands again. No wonder I didn't suspect a thing. Sebastian has always been cold and distant, with a spoiled, pampered temperament. He wouldn't even know how to fry an egg, let alone cook a meal. But over the past 3 years, my boyfriend had taken care of me down to the smallest detail. Every time he went on a business trip, he would share interesting stories with me, from the taste of a piece of cake to the shape of a cloud. Nothing was too small to mention. The weather is really nice today. Let's go out together next time. I forced a nervous smile and said, sure. Liar. The sky in the video was overcast and stormy. Clearly the weather was about to turn bad. Sebastian's dark eyes stared at me through the screen. Gia, are you going out? My breath caught in my throat, afraid he'd notice something was off. I said I was just going downstairs for a walk. Dr. Deng said I should get out more. It's fine. The property management has repaired the accessible pathways, so I won't fall again. He laughed on the other end. Sebastian's laughter made my scalp tingle. Great, I'm right at the door. Let's go downstairs together. My blood ran cold. The next moment, there was a knock on the door. Why are you back? My heart skipped a beat before I could process it. Sebastian held a bouquet of flowers in one hand and embraced me with the other. They changed the schedule at the last minute, so I wanted to give you a surprise. Hey, weren't we going for a walk? Where are you going with your bag? His breath was hot, and his smile was wicked. Gia, were you planning to run away while your husband was out? My hands trembled as I held my bag, my mind racing. There's a thrift store drive downstairs, and I didn't want to waste anything, so I packed a few things. I tried to stay calm as I wrapped my arm around his. You're back just in time. If there's anything you don't want, I'll donate it too. Sebastian stared at my pale face, his handsome features showing no emotion. He suddenly smiled. Sure. But I need to check first. Don't donate anything with sentimental value. With a rustling sound, he opened the bag, and I straightened my back. But when he reached the bottom, there was nothing useful inside except a few old clothes. I sighed in relief. That was close. During the video call, I faintly heard children whistling in the background. At the same time, the same sound came from the courtyard downstairs. I guessed he might have returned, so I quickly put the ID and bank cards back where I found them. Sebastian's mood visibly improved. As he took me downstairs, a neighbor joked, "You two make such a cute couple. When are you planning to have a baby?" I couldn't help but shiver. Sebastian's lips curled into a smile, with a hint of meaning. "You'll have to ask my wife, Gia. What do you think?" His warm breath brushed against my ear. Why not seize the day? For the past 3 years, I had always wanted a child. Today was indeed a good day. Sebastian took off his suit in front of me. His shirt was half open, and I could clearly see his beautifully defined chest and six-pack abs. My heart raced uncontrollably. I forced myself to keep my eyes from wandering. In the shadow, I fell backward onto the bed, instinctively pressing my hands against his bare chest. Not today. Why not today? Zhou Jitang seemed to have anticipated this, gripping my wrist with one hand, a hint of teasing in his voice. Gia, do you know what you're doing? Don't say no to a man. My body was tightly held in his embrace, leaving me completely immobilized. His lips pressed down on mine. Why didn't you answer my calls? Don't you miss me? His movements were gentle, but I felt a mix of heat and cold coursing through my body. He stared into my eyes, like a greedy beast. His intense advances left my mind in a daze, and I couldn't help but whisper. Brother, don't. Sebastian's movements froze instantly. Oh no. That nickname made him slowly pull away, his hands unconsciously releasing me. In the dim light, his eyes were dark and unfathomable. What's wrong, Yiwen? I feigned confusion, my cheeks flushing red to hide my embarrassment. I wrapped my arms softly around his neck. Don't men like being called, bro? Don't you like it? Bro? I don't like it. Zhou Shintang's breathing was heavy. Don't call me bro. Over the past 3 years, Sebastian had coaxed me into calling him all sorts of things. He tried both vulgar and innocent ones, but he absolutely refused to let me call him bro. Seeing me obediently say, oh, Sebastian's beautiful eyes still swirled with hidden emotions. He reached out and waved his hand in front of my eyes. He was indeed suspicious. Fortunately, my vision hadn't recovered much yet, and I was still slow to react to movement, so I didn't give anything away. How could I find out where my boyfriend really was? Was he alive? Or dead? A few days later, I went to the hospital for a routine checkup. On the way to the examination room, the male nurse pushing my wheelchair suddenly turned it around. Before I could react, he knelt down and quickly pulled down his mask. Jia, it's me. My pupils contracted sharply. It was a face both familiar and... It was Yi Wen, the man who had disappeared 3 years ago. My real boyfriend. Sebastian is a monster. My entire body trembled. After 3 years, Yi Wen still looked exactly the same as I remembered him. I slowly widened my eyes. He gripped my arms tightly, desperate and panicked. The person who's been by your side these past 3 years wasn't me, it was him. The expression on his face didn't seem like he was lying. He kidnapped you in a car accident when I was unconscious and sent me abroad to keep you. I managed to come back. He's a psychopath. Don't believe him. Yi Wen sobbed about the hardships of the past 3 years, angrily accusing Sebastian of cruelty. He clutched my hand tightly. Jia, we can't just sit here and wait. We have to make him pay. The familiar disinfectant smell in the hospital corridor made my palms feel sticky and hot. I clenched my fists tightly, my face expressionless. So what do you think I should do? The only way to uncover the truth was to take the initiative. The next morning, I got up early. When I arrived at Sebastian's company with my cane and asked for a job, his expression was priceless. 3 years ago, we parted ways on bad terms. He had criticized my boyfriend relentlessly, from his appearance, personality, and job, even down to his zodiac sign. Enraged, I had told him, you can rest assured. Even if I'm doomed, I'll never beg you to take me back. Sebastian leaned back in his chair, his eyes cold and angry, as if appraising me. Are you working with your boyfriend's permission? Zhou Jia, you can't even walk properly now. Can't he afford to take care of you? Do you need to come out and earn money? He spoke with such arrogance, but in the moment our eyes met, he uncomfortably averted his gaze. I pretended not to notice. He doesn't know. This is my own decision. Bro, I need this job because I suspect Yi Wen is hiding something from me. He might have someone else on the side. Sebastian was taken aback. How could that be? It's impossible. Why is it impossible, bro? I smiled calmly yet sadly. Love has an expiration date. I'm blind. It took me 3 years to barely adapt to taking care of myself. I can't help Yi Wen with anything. Look, he never brings his mom to meet me, never takes me to company dinners, and never answers calls in front of me. I don't even know any of his colleagues. Over the past 3 years, Sebastian had been cautious enough. But there were always moments when he slipped up. Like last week, on our anniversary. I said I wanted to go to the jazz lounge, but he didn't even remember. Is there really someone who forgets the place where they confessed their feelings? Bro, sometimes I even suspect you gave him money to take care of me. Sebastian's coffee spilled out of his hands. The bitter coffee splashed onto his suit, spreading through the air. Nonsense. I sobbed heavily, using the most dependent tone I could muster. Bro, you're the only family I have left. You'll help me, right? Sebastian had no choice but to agree. He warned me in a businesslike tone, if you encounter any issues at work, don't cry. I won't give you special treatment just because you're my sister. Even connections have to work hard. I raised an eyebrow and agreed. But when I returned home and excitedly shared the news of my job offer, his words changed. Go if you want, but if anyone bullies you, tell me immediately, understand? Don't hold it in. If you feel uncomfortable, you have to speak up. That's double standards, isn't it? I said I didn't need to, we're all civilized people, and besides, if you make a fuss, my brother will be bothered too. Sebastian snorted, your brother? I never saw you listen to your brother like that before. I calmly sipped my soup, I've grown up. I know to listen to my brother now. Is that okay? Before bed, I saw Sebastian holding his phone, deleting and editing something intently. I climbed into bed and lay down beside him, still working so late? He looked a bit impatient. Oh, there's a new employee, I have to train them. Soon, I received a text from bro. I put on my headphones, and the voice translation came through. It's going to rain tomorrow, tell your husband to drive slowly. You were always excellent at your previous job. Starting over is no problem. Bro believes you can do it, but if you can't, it's okay. Bro is here. Don't be late. That night, I dreamed of the past. I dreamed of when I first arrived at the Zhou family. Sebastian despised me. Because I didn't like taking baths. When I got dirty and smelly, I would hide and wipe myself down. No one could persuade me, until the family doctor discovered extensive signs of abuse on my body. There were marks from being hit with sticks, burns from cigarette butts, and multiple deformities in my spine. My biological father was a gambler with severe violent tendencies. Being beaten was a daily occurrence for me. My mother was beautiful but weak, always hiding in the corner and crying along with me. There were too many injuries, new ones piling on top of old ones. Bathing would cause infections and intense pain. Later, some boys at school bullied me, mocking me as the daughter of a burden. Sebastian got into a fight. He was handsome and well-mannered, but when he fought, he was fierce, and the other students were all scared. Sebastian had cuts on his face. When he returned home, Uncle Zhou confronted him, but he remained silent and was beaten again. I brought him medicine and asked why he didn't explain. He impatiently replied, those were such harsh words. Do you want to hear them again? Are you crazy? Don't misunderstand. I'm just protecting the Zhou family, not you. I thought about how he had taken my hand in front of everyone and said he'd take me home. He was a neat freak, yet he didn't seem to mind that I was dirty. This guy was really interesting. The new job wasn't bad. The only problem was that it was too far from Sebastian's office. Yuan suggested over the phone, since he never brings work home, what about his phone? Do you have any chance to access his computer? I remained silent for a while. What do you want to do? Revenge. Don't you want it? You've hated him since you were a kid, right? You couldn't stand his control. He broke us up for 3 years. Don't you want him to pay the price? Xiao Zhou, someone's here. I jumped up, knocking over the documents with my elbow. As I bent down to pick them up, a pair of high heels stomped down. Zhou Jia, do you recognize me? Just by the voice, I knew it was Song Tian. The one who bullied me in high school. She liked Sebastian, using her family background to isolate me, spreading rumors that my mother was a prostitute who climbed her way up. When I joined the company, she enjoyed causing trouble for me on multiple occasions. Why don't you just stay at home? The company isn't a place for someone like you to waste your time. With your blind luck, you can't even manage to live properly. How do you expect to survive in the workplace? Tangu is being kind to help you, but don't be so thick-skinned. Know your place and leave while you still can. Colleagues privately advised me not to confront her. The Song family and the Zhou family have always been on good terms. I heard that when Zhou's mother was still alive, she expressed a desire for the two families to form an even closer alliance. Xiao Zhou, there's a difference between being close and being related. Just endure it. I didn't want to complicate things, but as we passed each other, I caught a whiff of gardenia flowers. Suddenly, I remembered that there were several times when Sebastian came home late, saying he had to work overtime, and his suit had this scent. It was Song Tian's. A part of my heart ached. Something was quietly collapsing and peeling away, like an aftershock, unnoticed by anyone. I changed my mind. I walked straight toward Song Tian. In the collision, the hot coffee she was holding spilled onto my arm, and I screamed as I fell to the ground. At the same time, familiar footsteps approached from behind. It was Sebastian. Song Tian's eyes flashed with panic, but she quickly denied it. Tangu, what can you expect from her? I didn't even touch her, and she couldn't even avoid a cup of water. How can you expect her to do a good job? I was just. Before she could finish, he slapped her across the face, stunning her. The entire office fell silent. Everyone stared in shock at the scene. Song Tian covered her face pale, crying with tears streaming down her face. You hit me for her? She's not your sister, what's your relationship with her? Sebastian rolled up his shirt sleeves and picked me up. You don't know why I suddenly sent you abroad in high school. It was my suggestion. Song Tian was so shocked she forgot to cry. Why? Because you kept picking on her, affecting her studies, and you never learned your lesson. Jia is my family, the only one. The meaning of only should be clear to you. My hand was covered in blisters. I thought Sebastian was going to take me to the hospital, but before I could refuse, he spoke first. Hospitals are for those who truly need them. You don't need one. What does that mean? I immediately grew alert. Just the slightest change in his tone told me he was angry. Very angry. Sebastian, why are you angry? Is it because I offended Song Tian? Do you want me to go apologize now? You're still asking why. The car screeched to a halt by the roadside. Sebastian lifted my chin, and anger spread in his pupils. I've raised my younger sister for 3 years, and this is how you treat yourself. His hot breath brushed against my ear. Zhou Jia, if you did this to make me angry, you've succeeded. In an instant, I felt the blood rush to my head. My body stiffened, but my gaze remained unfocused, not avoiding his eyes. You can see it, I know. The car was warm, but my back suddenly felt icy cold. He knew what? Sebastian's warm fingertips gently brushed my eyelashes. How early was it? Let me think. It must have been the day I was on a business trip. Sebastian lowered his eyes, his beautiful eyes reflecting my image. Me, tense and at a loss. You mentioned donating clothes. I opened the bag, and though there were no IDs inside, there was a small mirror. Through the mirror, I saw you sigh in relief. Your gaze was normal, but your breathing gave you away. His lips landed on my damp brow. Silly girl, don't underestimate how well I know you. My brow was burning. Strange, we've done more intimate things before, but now, a single kiss left me completely disoriented. I was taken back to the old house. Along the way, Sebastian held onto my wrist tightly, and I tried to pry his fingers off. He didn't budge. Midway, Song Tianchi called, shouting, Sebastian, have you lost your mind? Are you ending our partnership over some random woman? He hung up without mercy. The Zhou family home was just as I remembered it, the place where we grew up. It was also the place where we parted ways 3 years ago. Sebastian brought some burn ointment and applied it to my forehead. The overlapping shadows of our bodies danced on the wooden floor. I could feel his movements were gentle, but his words were sharp. You can be jealous, but don't hurt yourself. I didn't. He brushed aside my fallen hair and chuckled. All right, if you say you didn't, then I'll take your word for it. I often have dinner with her brother, and she's come over a few times, that's all. Don't overthink it, I made it clear from the start. The light fell perfectly on Sebastian's prominent brow bone. As he bent down, his collar opened slightly, revealing half of his collarbone. Strange, that disorienting aftershock sensation returned. You must have so many questions, why I lied to you for 3 years, where your dear boyfriend is, what I've done. Sebastian stroked my cheek. Soon, you'll know the answers. I stayed at the old house for a few days. During that time, Ewan urged me again, Gia, find Sebastian's secret quickly. That's the only way we'll have the courage to leave. Sebastian was a nostalgic person, and this was evident from the fact that nothing in the Zhou family's furnishings had changed. Even the sculpture I had broken during an argument with him in high school was still there. If he had any secrets, he would definitely keep them here. At 10 o'clock, Sebastian fell asleep. I took the USB drive Ewan had given me to the study. At 10:30, I arrived at the agreed-upon spot. Tonight, the wind carried a light rain, and the world was shrouded in mist, blurring the edges of everything. Why are you so late? The man pulled down the hood of his hoodie, with a pile of cigarette butts on the ground, his face betraying his impatience. Is the confidential information you mentioned here? I kept my hands in my pockets. Who are you giving it to? Is the buyer reliable? It's none of your business. Just hand it over to me. Ewan stepped forward, his tone urgent and firm. The money they're offering is enough for us to leave the country and start a new life. Seeing that I wasn't going to hand it over, he grabbed me and tried to search me forcefully, but 2 plainclothes police officers suddenly appeared from behind. You're working with Sebastian to frame me. Looking at the panicked man in front of me, I curled my lips into a smile. My brother is busy and doesn't have time to deal with someone like you who's impersonating someone else. But I do have time. You're extorting me, threatening me to steal company secrets, and I... What nonsense are you talking about? I'm your boyfriend. You've been deceived by him for 3 years and you're still defending him. How pathetic are you? Stop pretending. You're not Ewan. I interrupted him coldly. From the moment you appeared, I knew you were an imposter. The real Ewan is long dead. He died in a car accident 3 years ago. You're his twin brother, aren't you? I said it casually, without any emotion. The love was fake, and the marriage was a sham. Ewan has always been a scumbag. Your brother is so bold. He used the fact that he knew a little secret about me to approach me, threaten me, and extort money from me, wanting to be my boyfriend and use me to extort money from my brother. Everyone has secrets, and so do I. But my secret must never be revealed to bro. When I was a child, my biological father beat me so badly that my spleen ruptured. The most dangerous time, a rib pierced my lung, and I only survived thanks to donations from my teachers and classmates. Even then, my mother could only cry and say, Gia, your father sent you to school and fed you. He loves you, he just doesn't know how to express it. Don't argue with your father, okay? Is love control, beatings, and insults? My heart grew numb and died with each new pain. But fortunately, criminal genes and allergic constitutions are hereditary. Soon after, my father died. He had won a large sum of money gambling, got overly excited, and died suddenly from alcohol poisoning at home. Given his years of alcoholism and underlying health issues, it was ruled an accident. My mother even received a substantial insurance payout. No one suspected that I, the meek and suffering child who endured everything, could have been the instigator. It was me who secretly rubbed the allergen on the bottle cap. After he died, my mother started to have good luck and remarried Uncle Joe, a man of exceptional character. I never imagined that someone across the street from our house had accidentally captured this scene. I never expected, Miss Joe, that the child from back then was you. When Ewan found me with the photo, he looked like a cat that had successfully stolen something. That night, I was testing my camera by the window and happened to capture you doing something bad. He proudly showed me the photo. It was an old camera, but it had a telephoto lens. It had recorded the entire process of my crime. The area where my ribs had been broken began to ache again. Your mother remarried and changed your name. I had to go through a lot of trouble to track you down. Zhou Jia, how old were you back then? You looked so decent. Even your own father couldn't resist you. What do you think would happen if I exposed this to the media, or handed it over to your dear bro? He thought you were an innocent flower, afraid you'd be deceived. Little did he know you're the biggest liar of all. If he finds out you had designs on him, he'd be disgusted, wouldn't he? You know? My expression changed instantly. Humph, look at the way he looks at you, anyone can tell. Is that so? Then why doesn't he know? Seeing me lower my head, the man thought he'd hit my weak spot and laughed even more wildly. Just do as I say. The statute of limitations hasn't expired yet. You don't want your reputation ruined, do you? For the first time, I gave him money. But I knew that if I didn't eliminate him completely, his desires would never be satisfied. Gamblers are like that, they never stop. I know people like him too well. He threatened to marry me, wanting to secure a steady income for life. During an argument in the car, we collided head-on with an out-of-control truck. After the crash, the man still had some strength left and tried to break the window. I used every ounce of strength I had to hold him down, not giving him the chance. As he lay dying, his eyes wide open, he said, "You're crazy." Yes, did you know that on the first day? When you threaten a madman, you have to be prepared to go to hell with him. Now, are you ready? She loved him so much and was planning to marry him. Jia can't handle this blow. In my unconscious state, I heard Bro's desperate voice, "Doctor, is there any hope for my sister's eyes?" I exhaled in relief. Ewen was dead. Good riddance. Bro wouldn't know my secret now. A thought crossed my mind. When I woke up, I felt around in the darkness, covering my face like a newborn baby. Ewen, is that you? Are you okay? Grasping me like a lifeline, Bro was at a loss, finally responding softly after a long pause. Yes, I'm okay. He was in a bind. The doctor had reminded him, the patient suffered a head injury, which can cause memory loss and confusion. Don't stimulate her yet. I wept, pained yet relieved. As long as you're okay, I can't live without you. Thank goodness. Heaven hasn't been unkind to me. That was the truth. I had hurriedly committed murder and kept it hidden. It was an accident, and I was the one who survived. Blindness was certainly discouraging, so I had to hold on to whatever I could. Bro had planned to tell me once my condition stabilized. But on the day we returned home, I persuaded him. Bro is a terrible actor, not a good one. But I am, and I'll play along. My veins aren't visible, so the nurse had to move the needle several times, and he'd breathe heavily each time. The first time I went out with a cane, Bro secretly followed behind me. When I stumbled on the stairs, he rushed forward immediately. He was so nervous he had to pretend to scold me. "Why did you come out alone? You won't be so lucky next time." I apologized with tears in my eyes. Looking so embarrassed must have made Bro feel really sorry for me. They say that the wounds from childhood take a lifetime to heal, and there's some truth to that. What I craved as a child was love. A lot of love. I wanted to be loved so badly, no matter what it took. If I couldn't get it, I'd create it. No one knows Sebastian better than I do. After my mom and Uncle Joe passed away, my relatives suggested, why not send her to a boarding school? You're not related by blood. Bro could have chosen not to take me in. I was prepared for it. He's always looked down on me, so he would have. Zhou Jia is my sister. Sebastian's voice was cold, and he covered my ears as he spoke. Does the Zhou family need her to speak? Don't go around making a fool of yourself. Once she's in my family, there's no such thing as cutting ties. She'll always be my sister, past and future. The rain was heavy at the cemetery, and the path down the mountain was slippery. He held the umbrella, one hand tightly around my shoulder. I noticed how firmly and openly he protected me as we made our way through the crowd. His umbrella was always tilted toward me. The pouring rain fell only on him. I knew all along. The nanny who pretended to care about me was stealing my things behind my back and mocking me for being a country bumpkin. The guy who said he liked me was a scumbag brought by Song Tian, trying to trick me into having sex with him. Bro was protecting me. No one had ever treated me like this before. At that moment, I wanted to cry for Sebastian. Because I realized I liked him. I'm betraying the one who's been so kind to me, my perfect bro. I've developed these dark thoughts. After going blind, I'm terrified of being alone. It's like I'm back to when I was a child, covered in bruises, hiding in the closet and trembling. Fear follows me everywhere. At its worst, if I can't see Sebastian, my body becomes consumed by anxiety. As long as he's home, I won't leave his side for a moment. I even sleep with my head on his arm. Sometimes I even grew tired of myself for being so clingy. But bro kept reassuring me, Jia is just scared. Everyone gets scared. It's normal. What are you afraid of? He paused, his voice tinged with sadness. I'm afraid of losing you. I'm afraid of losing all of you. Bro even learned to cook. He had no experience, and his first attempt in the kitchen was a mess. Even after watching countless videos, his scrambled eggs came out charred. But he improved quickly, even managing to make soup that looked decent. These past 3 years have been happy for me. Being blind meant the lie could continue. But now, I suddenly can see. It seems the plan needs to be revised. Fortunately, Yuan's twin brother appeared. When he showed up, I was genuinely startled. Does he have those photos? I absolutely cannot let bro see that side of me. Happiness has always belonged to good girls. But I can never be one now. Fortunately, their parents divorced when they were young, and they each lived with their own parents. Ewan didn't share the secret with him. I'll keep him under control first. After discovering that he was being manipulated by Song Tian to trick me into stealing company secrets, I'll turn the tables on him. All I need to do is make my stance clear to bro, and he'll handle the rest. I trust bro. The rain grew heavier. An umbrella was held over my head. I looked up, it was Sebastian. The rain fell relentlessly on the umbrella. He was dressed in a black suit, half of his body soaked. We stared at each other in silence for a moment. Bro, since you arrived early, why didn't you come out? Aren't you afraid I'll really give him the thing? Aren't you afraid I'll betray you? To my surprise, he admitted, yes, I'm afraid. He lowered his eyes, his expression aloof and distant, but there was a slight flicker in the corners of his eyes. I'm afraid you'll leave me. This has been bothering me for a long time. I've only seen him this vulnerable once before. It was when the police notified my mother that Uncle Zhou had been in an accident, and he held my hand as we went to identify the body. He held my hand and took me home. Our little but warm home. Bro skillfully brewed some ginger tea, urging me to take a hot shower. After I finished, he dried my hair. It seemed like nothing mattered. The lights were off, and just as I was about to fall asleep, I heard bro whisper softly. In that car accident, Yuan didn't actually die on the spot. He died in the hospital. I jolted awake. A chill crept over me, and my hands and feet grew numb. Even the joints of my bones felt cold. Why? In the darkness, my fingers were gripped by his, forced into a tight grip. Bro's voice was as calm as moonlight. It felt like we could be more honest with each other in the darkness. Because I found deep tooth marks on the side of his palm. The fragments of memory lost after the accident suddenly became clear. Yes, I remembered. Yuan wanted to escape, and I had bitten his hand tightly, trying to break free. At that moment, I was clinging to him with the determination to go down with him. I couldn't let Bro know about my past. Absolutely not. That shameful, immoral, disgusting past. And the hospital where he was being treated happened to be the Zhou families. They're dead, so nothing matters anymore. Bro wrapped his arms around me, holding me as I trembled. Everyone has secrets. It's okay. Bro has them too. Now we're even. He seemed to have 1,000 words to say, but in the end, he only kissed me. Bro will always be here. Forever and ever.